In this powerful documentary, we are going to explore the life of one of the most controversial and influential figures in modern history, Adolf Hitler. From his uncertain childhood to his unimaginable rise to power, and finally, his devastating downfall. This is the untold story behind a man whose name became synonymous with destruction and war. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss such deep and thought-provoking historical stories. And don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment below telling us what you think about this documentary. Your support means everything and keeps us motivated to bring you more powerful stories from history. The story begins in Braunau am Inn, Austria, where Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889. His father, Alois, was a strict customs officer, and his mother, Clara, was a loving and caring woman who deeply influenced his early life. As a child, Hitler dreamed of becoming an artist. He applied twice to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, but was rejected both times. These rejections would become one of the earliest wounds that shaped his inner frustration and resentment. In Vienna, he lived in poverty, surviving by selling small paintings, and during these years, he began developing extreme nationalist and anti-Semitic ideas, beliefs that would later define his entire political life. When World War I broke out in 1914, Hitler volunteered to fight for Germany. He served as a messenger on the Western Front, showing bravery but also witnessing immense suffering and death. The war deeply affected him. When Germany lost in 1918, Hitler, like many soldiers, felt betrayed. He believed that politicians and certain groups had stabbed Germany in the back, a dangerous idea that would fuel his hatred and shape his political speeches later on. After the war, Germany was in chaos. The Treaty of Versailles humiliated the nation. It took away land, limited the army, and imposed heavy financial penalties. Amid this political and economic collapse, Hitler found purpose. He joined a small political group in Munich known as the German Workers' Party, which would later become the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. His charisma, powerful speaking skills, and ability to tap into people's anger quickly made him the party's most influential figure. In 1923, Hitler and his followers attempted a coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch, trying to overthrow the German government. It failed and Hitler was imprisoned. During his time in jail, he wrote his infamous book Mein Kampf, which outlined his racist ideology and vision for Germany's future. It was in these pages that he defined his hatred for Jews, his belief in Aryan superiority, and his plans to expand Germany's territory, ideas that would soon lead the world into darkness. When he was released from prison, Hitler focused on politics again. Using propaganda, rallies, and emotional speeches, he rebuilt the Nazi Party. The Great Depression in 1929 became his golden opportunity. As millions of Germans lost their jobs, Hitler promised to restore national pride, rebuild the economy, and make Germany powerful again. By 1933, his plan worked. Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany, and now, Germany would never be the same again. Step by step, Hitler dismantled democracy. He banned opposition parties, silenced critics, and turned Germany into a totalitarian state through fear, loyalty, and control. He transformed the entire country into his personal vision. His speeches echoed across massive crowds, with people cheering his name, believing he was their savior. Hitler launched massive infrastructure projects, built highways, and expanded the military, which brought temporary prosperity, but behind the progress was a dark agenda. Jews, political opponents, and minorities were targeted, arrested, and sent to concentration camps. In 1935, the Nuremberg Law stripped Jews of their rights. Propaganda painted them as the root of Germany's problems. Step by step, Hitler turned hatred into law. In 1939, Hitler invaded Poland, triggering World War II. His dream of expanding German territory, known as Lebensraum, began unfolding through military conquest. Within months, German forces overran much of Europe. France fell. Britain stood alone. Hitler believed he was unstoppable, but his ambitions knew no limit, and soon, he made the greatest mistake of his life. He invaded the Soviet Union in 1941. The war on the Eastern Front became brutal. Millions of soldiers and civilians died. As the war dragged on, Hitler's decisions became more irrational. He refused to listen to his generals, believing his intuition was superior. Meanwhile, the Holocaust, the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews, reached its horrifying peak. The world had never seen such calculated cruelty before. In the midst of the chaos, Hitler's empire began to crumble. The Allied forces pushed from the west, and the Soviets advanced from the east. Germany's cities were bombed to ruins. The once mighty Nazi army was collapsing. Yet Hitler refused to surrender. He isolated himself in a bunker beneath Berlin, still believing in victory that would never come. By April 1945, it was over. The Red Army was closing in. Hitler married his longtime companion, Eva Braun, inside the bunker. 2 days later, on April 30, 1945, he took his own life. His dream of a 1,000-year Reich had lasted barely 12 years. His death marked the end of one of the darkest chapters in human history. The world soon discovered the full scale of his crimes, the concentration camps, the mass graves, the horrific experiments. Millions had died because of one man's ambition and hatred. Hitler's fall was not just the fall of a leader, it was the fall of humanity's moral conscience. History remembers Hitler not as a hero, but as a warning, a reminder of how hatred, manipulation, and unchecked power can destroy entire nations. His rise teaches us how easily people can be misled by fear and false hope. His fall teaches us that truth, justice, and courage must never be silenced, no matter how powerful the darkness becomes. If you've watched till now, thank you for staying with us through this emotional journey into history. What are your thoughts on Hitler's rise and fall? Do you think the world has truly learned from his mistakes? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your one click helps us continue creating powerful documentaries that remind us of our past, so we never repeat it again. See you in the next video, where we uncover another story that changed the world forever. Until then, stay curious, stay aware, and keep learning.